It's the end of the day with Ray. Hello, my friends. Okay, if you're a dealer owner out there, I got a question for you. Actually, even if you're a manufacturing executive, what are your people doing with all this time? We've been home now for like 4 weeks, and I got to be honest with you, I hardly see anybody in that intersection between the digital physical world that wasn't already there before the pandemic. In other words, there's not a whole lot of new people blogging. There's not a whole lot of new people doing videos. There's a few, but it ain't no movement. And the question I have to ask is, what in the hell are we doing with this time? Why haven't we digitized ourselves more? Why haven't we figured out how to live in a digital landscape? What in the hell are we doing? And then I talked to some people out there, and it's the same old crap. We're talking about how we're delivering equipment like we were before the pandemic. When the pandemic's over, everything's going to go back to normal. I'm watching interviews with senior leaders in the imaging channel, and they're talking about things like it's not a real big deal. Yeah, it's a little tough right now, but we'll get through it. Folks, what in the hell are we doing? So here's what I want to suggest everybody do. Let's assign everybody that works for your company the assignment of doing a SWOT analysis on the company. Man, you might get some really cool information from some of the people on your team. Even the salespeople, the service people, the admin people. Have them all do a SWOT analysis. Now, I'm sure the senior leaders know what a SWOT analysis is, but some of the employees might not. A SWOT analysis is your strength, is the S, your weaknesses is the W, your opportunity is the O, and threats is the T. And answer those questions. What are your organization's strengths? What are your organization's weaknesses? What are your organization's opportunities? And what threatens your organization? It would be really interesting to see what the rank and file has to say about those things. It would be interesting to see what your senior executives have to say about those things. And dealer owners, what do you have to say about those things? Have you done a SWOT analysis lately? Now's a good time to do it. Because we're not preparing for coming out of this. We really aren't. I saw an article today from our friends over at Morgan Chase saying that there's probably going to be a recession. We see where SoftBank just wrote off like $20 billion in investments. What kind of industry are we going to be coming out of this? Are we going to be a financially desirable industry? Are people going to want to invest in print and copy alone? Probably not. What are we going to plan to do that's going to be different? How are we going to address the fact that coming out of this, we might not be able to get funding for our customers to lease equipment? Remember 2008, 2009? It was pretty tough to get financing. Do we honestly believe that when we turn the switch on, as some people believe, that we're going to automatically, the gates are going to open up and everybody's going to get financed? Well, until we figure out how many of the deals that are out there now are coming back because of bankruptcy, until we figure out how many leasing companies might not be able to bundle up their leases and sell them off, maybe they become junk bonds. Folks, we need to understand what our strengths, our weaknesses, our opportunities, and our threats are. Because there's zero opportunity for any of us if we don't take our strengths and our weaknesses and our threats seriously. And we need to figure out maybe some of our strengths need to be reapplied to do something different. Do you ever think of that? Maybe some of our strengths, we could use some of those strengths to acquire vertical dealerships, vertical resellers to come and help us. I talked about calling up the office products resellers that are in your neighborhood. Folks, here's the reality. We got to not waste any more of this time that we have in sequester. And please, quit telling your people to do the same thing they were doing before. Peeling through this CRM now for 4 weeks, it ain't getting any better than it already is, so stop doing that. Let's take this time to train. Let's take this time to get these people digitized. Let's take this time to do a SWOT analysis. Because I got to tell you something, what you learn from that SWOT analysis could be, well, it could be game-changing. Because we all know this, status quo is the killer of all that'll be invented. Don't get stuck in status quo, and I'll see you all tomorrow.